Hi and welcome to JohnRayner.tv. In this episode, we're looking at part 10 of our series of videos titled How to Prepare for World-Class Public Speeches and Presentations. If you're interested in the prior 9 videos relating to this topic, you're welcome to visit JohnRayner.tv. Click on the videos link and you can find the prior 9 videos there. But in this episode, or part 10 of this series, let's jump down to the next box, which is intro, short for introduction. And look, what's really interesting for me is, I said in a previous video, it's scary and fascinating to me how when people have the responsibility to communicate to an audience, whether it be a round table environment, whether it be a medium-sized audience or a large public speak in a conference, it's fascinating how many people jump into first gear before putting the key in the engine, before warming the engine, before ensuring that the passengers, your audience, are ready to move forward with you on the journey to the destination you want to take them to. Some people even jump straight into 4th or 5th gear and leave their audience behind. So in this case, we've delivered a housekeeping just to calm everything down and set the standard, so to speak. Then we gave a creative opening to gain some attention and interaction from people, especially because their minds are thinking other things. Then we mentioned our subject. I gave 3 options in the last video. Take a look at JohnRayner.tv. But in introduction, for me, this is literally still warming the engine. We haven't even got into first gear, which is the agenda. We're still warming the engine. This is about building rapport with the audience. It's about getting their attention. It's about getting some engagement. So this is a place where in introduction, you might have to build some rapport by sharing your or your team's a professional history. It might be a situation where you've got to remind the audience of why you're speaking, so you might give some background leading up towards this particular communication. It might be talking about a project that's in hand and the pluses and the minuses to where you are today before you move forward with the rest of your communication. There are a number of things that you can do in the introduction, but here's something I strongly urge and encourage every communicator and every person responsible for a public speech to do. Ensure that before you get to first gear, meaning the agenda, ensure that yours is not the only voice that's being heard here, 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 and here. If you move through the first 4 boxes and get to the 5th box being agenda, without actually engaging and interacting and communicating with your audience, and I don't mean if you've got an audience of 1,000 people, you've got to speak to all people, but even if you just hone in on 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people before you ask their permission to move to the agenda. How do you do that? Questions. And this is not waiting for them to question you. This is where you've already prepared, not what you're going to say, but what you're going to ask. So in your introduction, if the least that you do, the very least that you do is you plan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions, plan your questions, ask them of your audience, get a feel for where the audience is at, whether they're pro your message, against your message, sitting on the fence. And don't get into don't try and answer the questions in depth by sharing the entirety of your message. Just listen to where people are at. Listen to their listen to the responses of the audience to the questions that you've already planned for and that you've already delivered. And then when you feel that most people, maybe not all, but most people are on the same page and ready to move into first gear, then of course you can move forward. I hope this helps. See you on the next episode of JohnRayner.tv.